So welcome back to yet another video on software engineering. In our previous discussions, we were talking about the software development life cycle, and then we looked into waterfall model, and then we looked into the iterative waterfall model, which was a slight modifications. Then we talked about prototype model and its some of its variants also, and then we talked about your rapid application development model, where we saw the usage of your case tools and how it works. Then the essential aspects of rapid application development model, how it actually works, and then we have like several models which are working. And then we looked into the verification and validation in terms of your case, then when to use, some of the drawbacks, all these things we saw in our previous video. And in our today's video, we are going to talk about incremental SDLC model. So, from the image only, you might have gotten some idea that it is like either a generic waterfall model or a generic software development lifecycle model or a waterfall model, to be very specific. And in this thing, what we have done is the planning is the common one, and each time we get a different build. That means the entire process is followed and we get a different build for each iteration. So what is happening is that in this particular model, the requirements are divided into multiple standalone modules of the software development. So unlike the previous phase, it goes to that same set of activities, which is like feasibility study, requirements analysis, design, coding, testing, then implementation, maintenance, but it is done iteratively for each builds. And these builds are nothing but your phases as well. You can call these builds as phases as well. Or in some of the literatures, you will find that these builds are called as increments. So this is increment 1, this is increment 2, this is increment 3. And it can be so on and so forth. Increment n to be very specific. So it depends on how many increments or how many builds we need to have in this. So all these phases like requirements analysis, design and development, all these things are same. But yet the only difference is that we are getting several builds in this. Now, some of the basic characteristics of this is like the system development is broken down into many mini development projects. Right? Just like these development projects, we have like mini development projects. These ones. Partial systems are successively built to produce a final total system. So it's like what we have done is a task, major task T has been divided into small tasks, T1, T2, T3 up to Tn. And these tasks are nothing but are comprising of some or the other functionalities of my application. So initially I've come up with T1, then T2, then T3, and then T1, and this is the final product. For example, your MIS application, let me say that okay, for me the course registration is something which is crucial. So in the build 1, I came up with a course registration plan. In the build 2, attendance management system is something which is important for me, so I came up with this. For build n, let's say inventory management was there. So for the build n, I came up with inventory management system. So what I have done is I have divided the complex portion into small tasks, and it's like divide and conquer it. Then further we can bring a slight change to this, that I brought this iterative nature. That means I have the incremental nature in the form of builds or increments, and then I brought these creative feature as well. So let's quickly see some of these advantages of using an incremental model. So what we can do is, in this case, I can develop the risky or the major functions which are important to me first. So all the crucial functions, I'll come up with all those things in the first build. Crucial functions or important functions, and each release delivers an operational product. Of course, every time, every build is nothing but a fully functional product. It can have a subset of functionalities which the overall product delivers, but every time each build will be there to sort out some or to automate some or the other activity. So in this case, I'll have, for example, for MIS, my first phase was for course registration. So the course registration will be working fine. We will not comment on attendance management and your inventory management because that would be part of later builds. Similarly, customer needs to respond to each build because it's like some of the functionalities I'm delivering, so customer will respond back that okay, it is fine, or we need some changes to it. And as I said, this is something which is like divide and conquer approach, that is breaking down of tasks into smaller chunks of tasks, and then incrementing all these things, and you get a fully functional model. Your initial product delivery is faster because I need to immediately launch my product with a particular in the first build with some of the functionality. So let me deliver it at a faster rate, and then later on I can take a call on the other activities or the other builds. So customers are getting the important functionalities very early with the deployment of the first build or the first increment. And then in this, the risk of changing the requirements gets reduced because I can handle this. Let's say I came up with the first build, and then some requirements are suggested so that I can take care in the second build. In this case, the risk of changing requirement gets reduced. But along with these advantages, there are some drawbacks of this incremental model as well. Drawback is that it requires a very good planning and design, because my design will have the funda of each and every build. So in this case, I should be very careful. On top of it, this requires the early definition of a complete and fully functional system to allow for the definition of increments. This early definition is something which is very crucial. Then I need to have a well-defined module interfaces, because some will be developed long before others. So all these interfaces, because then your integration testing plays a very important role. Because these builds are there and will be integrated, so this integration testing plays a very important. And then this particular system, the total cost of the complete system will be on a higher side. It will not be on the lower side of this, right? The chances will be like for a costly product, yes, I can accept this. Now, after looking at all these pros and cons of your incremental model, now the question arises that when should I use this incremental model?